Now this is what I'm talking about. This is what gives me possibly maybe a little bit of confidence in Howie Vision. Bringing in Christian Harris is what I'm talking about. Dallas still stinks. You're by the way, King Dingbat here, and happy Football Friday to all you Dingbats out there. I hope each and every one of you guys are having a wonderful, great day. Hope you guys are hanging in there. You know, this is what I'm talking about. We are 6 days away from the draft, and the Eagles still have prospects coming in and meeting with them for visits. And today we have a very, very important player we got to talk about. And before we do that, make sure if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure, more importantly, you hit that subscribe button, because you don't want to miss daily Eagles content, daily football content here on this channel. Especially with the draft coming up, we will be live streaming every minute, every second of the draft. And if you want to know what a Philly 500 live stream is like during the draft, check out the end of this video, okay? And if you've been subscribed for a while, just double check, double moonwalk check that you're still subscribed, because for whatever reason, YouTube unsubscribes people unknowingly, so you have to just double check. Thank you, and I appreciate your support. Now, we got to get into it, because I just finished doing a live stream, was just getting ready to leave the house, and I was like, I got to talk about this news today with the Eagles, okay? And it's not JJ Arcega-Whiteside, JJ Arcega-Poppins with his umbrella coming down the chimney to the tight end room, because that's not what we're talking about. What we're talking about is a linebacker who I've pretty much been eyeing the whole offseason, right? We hear a lot about Lloyd, a lot about Dean, but the guy that I've been focusing on, the guy that I've been watching is Christian Harris, the linebacker from Alabama. And today we get a report from Jordan Schultz. Shout out to Jordan Schultz, man. Shout out to thegameday.com. I love Jordan Schultz. But here's what he said. Source at Alabama football says linebacker Christian Harris had a top 30 visit with the Eagles. And he says pound Eagles, not hashtag. We don't do hashtag here. It's pound, baby. Pound that ass. But the pound Eagles, pound Texans, pound Bills. Who cares about the Commanders? They stink. Pound Jags, pound Saints, and the Giants stink as well. But at least the Giants have their name still. But Harris, who had 3 sacks in the national title game, ran a lightning fast 4.4 and broad jumped 11 feet. Christian Harris could be the steal of this draft, okay? He's 6'2", and he came in, I think, at 226 at the combine, even though here they got him listed at 232. However, this kid to me is a player, and he would be a great pick for the Eagles. Now, I can tell you this. The Eagles are not going to go out and they are not going to draft him in the first round. The Eagles are not going to draft a linebacker in the first round. But this kid, I mean, 6'1.5", he came in 226, which is kind of undersized really for a linebacker. It's kind of small, but I think he could put on weight. But he ran a blazing 4.44. I mean, that's fast. So to me, when I look at the Eagles and what they normally do and how they can approach things, I think Christian Harris makes way more sense, 1,000 times more sense than Devin Lloyd, than Nakobe Dean. And the reason I say it is because the Eagles have not drafted a linebacker in the first round since 1979. But they do draft linebackers in the second round every so often. And Michael Kendricks is the last guy I can think of in the second round that comes to my mind. But let's say the Eagles in the first round, I don't know, let's say they go defensive tackle, wide receiver, defensive tackle, corner, something like that, right? I really think with that 18th pick overall, I really think they're going to trade back. I do. I think they're going to trade back, and they're going to try to acquire at least another number 2. They also have 2 third-round picks. So they've got a lot of maneuverability, okay? I can foresee a situation where the Eagles maybe try to get up and get Christian Harris. Or if he's there when they pick in the second round, which I doubt, I can see them taking him. It would be a great pick. If they somehow came out, let's say they came out with a defensive tackle or defensive lineman, a wide receiver, then Christian Harris. I mean, that would be a great haul. I think this kid can play, man. I really, really like this kid. I like what I've watched of him, and I think he's going to be good at the next level. If you can go out and you can get him, let's say, in the second round, I think the Eagles would consider it. The Eagles, people talk a lot about the list, right? We've gone over their list of who they've brought in, who they've not brought in. But the truth is, I think in this list of who they've brought in, I think there's less smoke screens. I think there's less smoke screens this year, and a lot of the visits look like they just make sense. Okay? And Christian Harris makes a lot of sense because the Eagles would look for a linebacker in the second round. I think when you look at visits like Sauce Gardner and Thibodeau, I think they brought those guys in because they look at those guys and they have them slotted as a certain spot, right? If let's say Sauce Gardner or Thibodeau, let's say Sauce Gardner gets to 6, this will trigger the Eagles to try to go up and get him. Let's say Thibodeau gets to 9. This could trigger the Eagles to get up and get him. Now, those numbers I'm just throwing out there, but I'm sure the Eagles have put a value on those guys and when it's worth the trade up. I don't know what that value is. Nobody does, but Howie Vision, okay? However, I think that when you look at the visits, Thibodeau and Kavan, and Sauce Gardner, when you look at the Eagles bringing those guys in for visit, it's because they potentially could trade up for them. When you look at Christian Harris, they're bringing him in because they look at him and say, okay, if this kid's around in the second round, or if he gets to this point in the second round, that could trigger us to go out and get for him. So I think that they're interested in most of these guys. Even Matt Corral, I know as hard as crazy as that is, the Eagles probably have a grade on him, and they said if he gets to a certain point, we'll get him. That's why they brought him in. That's why he's the only quarterback they brought in. Now, shout out to Easy Money. I'm not trying to talk about Matt Corral, but I'm just saying, like, the guys that they brought in for visits, I don't think there's a lot of smoke screens this year around them. I really don't. I don't think there's a bunch of smoke screens. I think a lot of it is the real deal. Like, I think the Eagles are looking at these guys and they're saying, these are the guys what we want to bring in. And Christian Harris is a perfect linebacker for the Eagles. If they can get him in the second round, I think this is way more likely than them going after Lloyd, than them going after Nakobe Dean. And it would fit perfectly. I do think this, though. If they are going to go after Harris in the second round, most likely to me that means they're taking another wide receiver in the first round. So I don't think the Eagles would go defensive lineman, like let's say Jordan Davis. I'm just using him as an example for those that don't want him. But let's say Jordan Davis, Andrew Booth, Booth Jr., and then a linebacker in the second round. I don't think they're going to go defensive tackle, corner, linebacker. I think they would go defensive tackle, wide receiver, linebacker. So if they go defensive tackle, corner, I expect them to go wide receiver in a second. So I think we'll have a good idea by the end of the first round what they're going to do. But that's what I think is going to happen. So I'm telling you, this to me is exciting. I really like the idea of bringing him in. And, he's coming in for a visit. And this is one of my favorite visits that the Eagles have had. Because I think Christian Harris in the second round would be a steal. Now, some people are saying that he could go up and go into the first round. I don't know. I think what I'm hearing today is that the receivers are going to be going crazy. They're going to go crazy in the first round. I'm hearing 8-9 receivers possibly could go in the first round. Okay, so I think there's going to be a giant run on receivers, and I think the Eagles are probably going to be included in that at this point. But a guy like Christian Harris will be around there in the second round, and so I expect them to possibly snag him. I think this is a good chance. I think this is the best chance that they have in years of taking a linebacker in the second round. We'll find out, but they haven't, I don't think, since Michael Kendricks. So, yeah, I think Kendricks was the last linebacker they took in the second round. If I'm wrong, you can correct me on that. And I would absolutely love to get Christian Harris. Let me know what you guys think. I'll be back tomorrow screaming Sixers. May do an Eagles live stream or not sure. But definitely let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. And it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. The Cowboys trade pick. Cowboys traded the pick to the Eagles.
Oh,
They're
what?
gonna get DeVonta Smith.
They
traded with the Eagles. The Eagles are on the clock.
Come on, get it now.
Gotta be DeVonta Smith, right? It's gotta be DeVonta.
It has to be.
If it's Queen Bay, I'm burning this shit down. Smith, they jumped the Giants to get DeVonta Smith. That's what I'm talking about. Big balls out. Big balls out. That's what I'm talking about. If it's not DeVonta Smith, I'm lighting everything up. Get ready to see a fire that you've never seen before. The Eagle select. Yeah. Yes! I'm happy! Yes! DeVonta Smith, one of my top 4 guys, I won it! Mother There he goes! Yes! Great pick!
Oh
Great
my
pick!
God!
Dallas still stinks.